But I want to spend my time before Q&A talking about Uber and about what we think is an important value proposition for areas like the Vancouver metro area. And I guess I'd like to take the moment to elevate the debate a little bit. I think that the debate around Uber is, I think, generally seen as, is it old versus new, and Uber and ride-sharing versus traditional taxi, and the politics around it. We are a business. We're eager to come here to Vancouver to help build our business. It's the largest metro area in North America without ride-sharing. And this is obviously a city, a huge tourism destination, embraces technology, so we think that's a shame, and so we're eager to work with local government officials, the provincial government, to find a pathway forward to bring ride-sharing. But I'd like to tell you why that's important. And again, we are a business, not a nonprofit. But I am going to talk to you about some of the benefits that actually are becoming more apparent to us as we scale. So first on the economic side, and we'll talk about transportation in a minute. But I know from my time in government, I sat in too many meetings with too many really smart people, and there was no satisfying answer on scale about, even as the economy recovers and we grow jobs, how do we grow wages? The truth is, whether you're in Canada or in the United States or many countries in Europe, even as people have a job, they're not terribly secure. They need more money. They need more income. We should try every idea, in my view, that's reasonable. We did not see this coming on scale, but what's happening today, I mentioned 16,000 in Toronto, almost 10,000 drivers just south of here in Seattle, 42,000 in Los Angeles, over 60,000 in our largest city, Chengdu, China, over 30,000 in Chicago, and we are just getting started. So you're talking about, on scale, providing the fundamental answer to the biggest economic question of our time, which is how can we get more income to more people who desperately need it? So it turns out, and we weren't sure how many people would want to drive their Toyota Prius and give rides to people. It turns out a whole heck of a lot of people do. So the economics go, so this debate about whether Uber comes to the Vancouver area, you're talking about ultimately tens of thousands of people, your citizens, who are going to be able to improve their lives, either for a long time or for a short period of time. The economic impact, I think, on the economy as a whole is also profound. You are a major global tourist destination. You had 12,000 people here at the cruise ship terminals last week, and epic problems getting people around. We can help with that. At the press of a button, you can get where you need to go. Sometimes here, there's lengthy waits at the airport. From a tourism standpoint, an economic standpoint, why don't you get those people from the airport into downtown so they can start spending money right away and make it a more enjoyable experience? Our estimates are we've had 100,000 people in the last year, not from this area, come to British Columbia and try and use Uber, but they can't use it. But the reason we have such support amongst retailers, restaurants, and bars is we deliver customers in an easy way, the easiest way it's ever been, right to their doorstep. It used to be that where you cited a business, really, how close to a public transportation line, a bus line, what kind of taxi traffic is there, that isn't a factor anymore because people can find you easily. The only answer on scale is to have less people driving in their cars. And think about this, Vancouver is, from an affordability standpoint, has some of the strongest challenges in the whole world. So if you can reduce that, so if you can reduce personal car use, you begin to help with congestion. The other part of commuting, and this is a great, the Vancouver metro area is a great example of this, is commuting problems, right? We have all these people coming into cities in the mornings and at the end of the day, and they're generally driving themselves. And it causes massive economic loss of activity, a lot of time pressure. We all get very annoyed. We're not our best selves. And I have yet to talk to an elected official or a city planner, no matter what they think about Uber, and some people love us and some have other feelings about us, who doesn't get excited about carpooling and commuting. Because again, if you're a city, you've got to say, okay, how do I deal with the coming population boom? How do I make progress so that our businesses are more efficient? Obviously, the time and money lost to businesses due to congestion is epic in terms of scale and cost. So we think we can help be a partner. And listen, there are some people now who use Uber in cities around the world as their primary means of transportation. Our value proposition is in areas where it's been hard to get around. We do think that if you think about how do you build a city of the future that works with tourism, that works with the local economy, that helps grow wages, that is one of the solution sets for some of the mobility and transportation challenges, we think we can be a big part of that. So, you know, we're eager to engage with the local government, with the provincial government, to find a way forward so that we can bring ride sharing here. And then it gets really interesting, because the debate and discussion we're most interested with government, and we're having it all over the world now, is once we've kind of established the rules of how we can operate, then let's work together on job training programs. Let's think about how to move people with disabilities around better in a city. Let's figure out how we can help you solve some transportation challenges around big events and big tourism moments. Those are the things we're really, really excited about. When new technologies emerge, that can cause some conflict. And this is not a question of, is there a way to make ride sharing work? There's plenty of ways to make it work. So we just have to have the debate and a dialogue, and that's what we're hungry to do here in Vancouver and in the province and throughout Canada, and try and bring what we think is a pretty important contributor to the local economy and the local transportation sector to the citizens here.